That's what I'm talking about, talking about, talking about. That's what I'm talking about, talking about, talking about.
Hi, welcome to Talking About. I'm John Griffith. I am joined by who may be a familiar face if you've been watching the show, or familiar if you've just been around the city for a while because you do a lot of stuff around. Joe Zaso, welcome.
Hi guys, how are you? Well, thank you. Hello again. Welcome.
I'm really glad to have you back.
Thank you.
It's like every 2 years or so.
It feels like I feel like I was just here. That's why I know the very way over here, and it's like I know the whole drill. We get our pizza when we go in. We get it's like I always make that same wrong turn every time I first come in. So it never ever changes ever.
But I mean, you're actor, you're MC, you're author, and now
caterer. I do love everything. So that's my latest venture is catering. So share my abilities.
For
with the
lack of
world.
a better phrase, you're all over the place.
Renaissance man, I prefer.
Oh, okay. Well, you're doing catering now. The last time you were here, you were talking about the Cafe Himbo books. I'm assuming that this is an outgrowth of that.
Yeah, actually, it's because I enjoy cooking. I've always enjoyed it. I've actually used to cater even films I worked on as a producer, so I've always had this love for it. And this past summer, I honed my skills a bit, going to many classes. And as much as I enjoy cooking, I said, I'd like to properly cater events. And I decided to do it this fall, and actually had quite a few this holiday season. Okay. And then it got nice and quiet because everybody disappeared, but it is fun, and I'd like to keep doing it. And I'm partly here to tell the world that I cater. If you're in the New York, Long Island area, here I am.
Well, what type of events have you done, aside from your own, what you had just mentioned?
For some reason, a lot of art gallery things like me. I don't know why, but particularly when there's an art gallery, like a holiday party or an opening or some kind of artist's retrospective or something, that I seem to have the art. A lot of film festival parties, a lot of film premieres.
Which is right up your alley.
Yeah, it just seems like it's like in the arena of everything I do anyway. So it's like or maybe it's just I happen to know the people. but no, it just seems to be the way it all works out. So.
Okay, well, when somebody wants your services, wants to book you, what do you initially go through with them?
First of all, I just find out I put all the basics on the table, like to know when, where, what do you need, what are you looking for, what's your budget, all these things and such. And I can accommodate most people to what they need. It's just how many people are there going to be, will I have the ability to have places to heat things up? Because a lot of times I go to some events. I went to one event where they didn't have any place. I had scheme up all these things to do because they didn't even have a hallway or a corner to put me in, let alone, So I got to put somewhere. I don't have a truck outside, so, But so that's my ingenuity as a line producer comes into play. But I prefer it when I have a proper kitchen to work in and there's more room to. But I accommodate wherever I can do. And
well, what are some of your more popular?
Well, I do a lot of hors d'oeuvres and desserts. That's my main focus. I could do brunch and all kinds of meals and things, but that seems to be the thing. Is hot appetizers like sweet potatoes wrapped in bacon, for example, or those kind of little fun finger foods. Bruschetta. Things with mozzarella, like swirled, almost like a roll wrapped in pepperoni and mozzarella, those kind of things. Blue cheese, mini muffins.
If we weren't in the temporary studio space that we're in right now, I would have loved to have had you prepare something.
I wish I could have.
Yeah, but for the audience, that's why we're not doing it. We're in a little temporary space. If you notice, it's like we're not even in our temporary space. We're in a more temporary space. We're in a little corner in the side of a dark alleyway, and
it may make it work.
But we improvise, which is what you were just talking about. You find the little corner where you can get the job done, and you get it done, and you do it well. Because just from looking at your cookbooks, there's a lot of inspiration and motivation and some really wonderful things available to you.
I find that everything just kind of is always born out of another thing. So it's always like even with the catering, it's born from. My love of cooking, and I happen to talk to the right person and go to the right party and study the right thing, and but I find that you're just in for improvise. That is, I think, also one of the keys to good cooking. You're always going with a plan, but things have a tendency to go wrong, or things as Julia Child would say, who's to know when you're in the kitchen when you cover things up. But you find that that actually, or if you find that you forgot one of the ingredients and you have to come up with something interesting, and that is the key, I think, also to fine cooking. I think this is the kind of stuff I do. So,
well, it's a lot of improvisation and thinking on your feet and adapting. I mean, it's like some of my favorite shows are the cooking competition types shows, and
the bake-offs and all those things.
Yeah, and you see how people have to think on their feet, and the most creative of the creative can come up with something delicious out of a shoebox, for lack of
like if your crust falls apart, or your custard's too loose, or something like that, or your sponge comes out as hard as a rock, you find a way to make it somehow work. Even though it wasn't the original plan. But
but I know that doesn't happen with your food.
No, not then. Never. But and of course, if ever something burns, only the cook will see that one and eat that one. So no, but unfortunately, I don't burn things. But unfortunately, I have a nice clientele, and they've been very grateful and they've been appreciative, and. I don't know if you're able to show any snapshots while I'm talking, but if you do, I will actually have all these things showing for you.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like the audience has probably already seen some. Yeah. We're pre-recording. We're usually live. We're pre-recording. Okay, right. So, yes, I'm going to be putting that in, and you've already seen it, and we're going to pretend that I'm not even saying this right now.
This past holiday season, I was doing an enormous. I know you like baking. That's why I was kind of overkill myself. So I was making more and more triple fudge brownies and cookies and shortbread cookies and these things called Nanaimo bars, which are a Canadian snack for any Canucks out there that know this. And because I had so much going on, I was doing one thing for family, friends, clientele, whatever. So by the time I was in withdrawal, when January came, I was like I had been baking so much, and I actually had a craving for something that I never wanted all month. But I always try to adapt also to the season, and whenever I attend an event, I always try to study. Like I went to an anniversary party the other day, and I was like, how are they cutting the hors d'oeuvres up, and how are they doing this? And I always find I'm always taking notes no matter what, even if it's just for some kind of weird, pleasure that I like to,
I like doing that as well.
Seize it. Like, what are they doing? What kind of cheese? What kind of,
I was in Florida recently. It's like it was at a German restaurant. It's like, oh geez, I can't even remember the specific dish. No, it was in my head a minute ago. I'm blonde. Forgive me.
Blonde eyebrow here.
But I spoke to the server and said, "Oh, is this, and this?" And she said, "Well, yeah, and this." So that extra ingredient, and if you find somebody who's willing to let you be a little bit, if you're teachable and somebody's willing to teach you, you can absorb that information. A lot of times, professionals don't want to share their information.
No.
But this person was, and it was great. And you're obviously finding people like that as well.
Yes. We'll go back. You were just saying about how professionals don't want to, reveal their complete recipes. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of this famous cook who has a cookbook, but there's always one ingredient that seems to be missing, because when I go to make it, something, and I do it over and over again, I follow the recipe, something seems wrong, and it's like there's always, and I know they do it on purpose, so you have to think on your feet and improvise.
Yeah, I mean when I make something new, especially it's like with baking, it's like the first time I do it, I'll follow the recipe specifically, and then the second time I do my variations on it.
Because you know then what to expect from it. You can,
right.
It's like obviously we're going to go for this angle. I like to chocolate it up a bit more, soften it up a bit more.
Yeah, I mean my sister gave me a recipe for shortbread bars, and I did it, was successful with the first batch, and then said, lemon zest would be nice.
You sort of find all the possibilities.
Exactly.
And versions of this.
And you can use the same, I can use the same base recipe and find 5 different cookies just by changing an ingredient here and there. And it's like, that's one of the things that I love about.
Yeah, because you never get bored. I mean, there's always something else you see that inspires you. I mean, I make these mini cupcakes, always these square pans. And every time I make one, I suddenly come up with 5 more ideas. I'm like, okay, we're going to do blue velvet cake this time. There's one thing called almond joy cupcakes, which are basically like that. They're chocolate cake with almond buttercream. I'm sorry, coconut buttercream and an almond on top. And I keep finding like, okay, let's make one based on this bar. Let me go and then you find yourself wanting to make these things just for some, like I said, for something irrational, inspiration is pushing you. So just for the sake of so then I offer it to my clients.
So we're recording this in late winter, but spring and summer, it's like people start having garden parties and things like that, especially
graduations and this and that.
In the city on Long Island and things like that. Graduations, pre-prom parties, sweet 16s, whatever. So all of these seem to be right up your alley.
Oh, definitely. So that's what I'm saying. Whatever the occasion is, so no matter how big or small, I always like to to delve into it. And like I said, for some reason, it always seems to be some kind of artsy thing, but I want to show people I can, do the rest and be, crafty about different things. So it's.
So I mean, you're capable of full service.
Yeah, definitely. So it just depends. Like I said, that's why I always have my little questionnaire whenever, but people say, "What is your event?" Give me all the basics, and I can tell you what we can do, what we can't do. Or I say we, I mean me, myself, and I. Actually, my fortune, I have different crew people that I work with, to help serve and such, and so design the costumes.
Yeah, you have a team of professionals.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you have a website set up for?
As a matter of fact, I do. It's actually through Facebook, actually, but that's where I have a few things on there. I have it's actually a Facebook page. I have my own website as an actor, but I'm trying to keep them separate, just so it's two different worlds, two different Joes. But you can actually find me on Facebook, and also I could always give out my my web address, my email address, I should say, for the catering and such.
If you want to,
it might flash on as I'm speaking.
It might just bing bing.
But actually, that's where to find me, and I'll just, like I said,
what is the email address?
It is josephzazo@gmail.com. Simple enough.
How did you come up with that?
Those different things I'm still, cranking out. But actually, this was a venture that started, like, maybe, it started several years ago, but about the last 6 months, actually, I've been delving more into this, to do this professionally. And it really was almost like second nature, but I wanted now to do everything properly for everyone's events, so it's always, that's why I'm into the catering thing now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds wonderful. It's like, and again, next time you come, you need to bring me some samples.
I had this whole thing set, and it's like, you always think you have more time than you do, and that's what happens.
Exactly. But like we mentioned earlier and showed, so you've put out a few cookbooks already. So
5 of them, as a matter of fact, 5 of them.
5.
And this was the very first. This was I think it was 5 years ago, and I think I've actually promoted my cookbooks on like 3 of your shows, I think, over the years.
I think so, at least.
And so it's kind of an extension of that. I mean, maybe some of the recipes you see in here, some new ones.
Right, so, which is what I'm saying. It's like if you want to pick up your cookbooks, they're all in the Cafe Himbo series.
Yes.
So if you...
Now we have a website for it. I can get
well, please do.
joezazo.net.
Okay.
/store, or just go on joezazo.net, you'll find your way through. So
right, but if people want to learn more about your food and the type of food that you like and you like to prepare, excuse me, the teeth are loose.
Yes, it's get out.
They can pick up the cookbooks as well and get a general idea of some of the things that they might expect.
Exactly. So it's different. Like I said, I like fun foods lately. I don't know why. I'm not much of a foodie, but I never was. But now all of a sudden, just anything just seems interesting and kind of like, Reuben spring rolls or Philly cheesesteak spring rolls, decadent little things that are just kind of fun, and lettuce cups and.
Well, that is being a foodie. So you are a foodie.
I guess I am. I'm Italian. I should be.
You're in denial. You're in denial about being a foodie
because it's like, I just pick at things. But no, I guess I am.
You're a chef. You're a foodie.
You should love. I mean, like foodie for myself. It's funny because I say, like, people always ask what I prepare for dinner for myself, and I said if it's just myself, it's like it's cold cuts. It's just minor little things for myself. But I can't seem to prepare. So anything beyond just bare basics, if it's just myself, there's always got to be somebody I'm cooking for, or somebody.
I always cook big, and I make my own frozen dinners.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's how I do it. It's like, and
why waste the effort if it's just you going?
And when it's time for comfort food, my favorite is just pull out the crock pot and.
Oh yeah.
But the email address one more time?
The email address is josephzazo@gmail.com.
So for any catering needs or any inquiries, that's what you reach out to
and we'll talk about it. Talking about.
Okay. And because we're online, so you're in the New York City, Long Island area.
Yeah, those are the 2 areas I can, I can pretty much, you tell me where you are, you're in such and what region, and we pretty much can reach it.
Within a reasonable distance.
Within a reasonable, It's like if you're way out in Montauk, it's a different story. If you're way up in Buffalo, it's a different story. But if you stay within
well, I mean, it's just
a certain mile radius, I'll come find you.
I know who watches the show, and if you're in Saudi Arabia, you're out of luck. So.
By the way, it was this Queens base, so I am next door to Queens, so I'll find you.
So Queens, Long Island, Manhattan, and the adjacent. So
the adjacent.
So definitely worth a taste, and check it out. And the Cafe Himbo books at the website that is on your screen right now. There's more information at www.talkingabout.info. We posted a whole bunch of our segments there. You can probably find some of your previous appearances if you scroll back far enough. And if you're checking out our YouTube page, throw this video a like and subscribe to our videos. This way they come right to your inbox. You know when I post something new. You usually get 2, maybe 3 new segments a month of people like Joe and other people from different communities and different walks of life that I enjoy meeting and getting to know. And through my getting to know them, you get to know them as well, and you get to learn about great companies like yours.
Yeah, so this is how we tried to do it. So things are born, legends are born in this room, I know.
So if you need Joe, reach out to him, and if you need us, I'm right here. So thank you for joining me, and we will see you again next time.
That's what I'm talking about, talking about, talking about.